Hey everybody, welcome to Cheesehead Trucking. Welcome back if you're a repeat offender. Oh, we're getting there. Slowly but surely. On to the next one. Where are we going today? Beaumont, Texas to Pittsburgh, Kansas. Pays pretty good. What are we driving? International 9900i. Alright. 600 horsepower. 18 speeds, 641 miles. Let's rock and roll. Put those miles on. So it's Cheesehead Trucking because I am from Wisconsin, just in case you're wondering. That's the only reason. I love the dashboard of this thing. The only problem is it doesn't have a button box. Turn on ignition. Lights on. High beams on. Doesn't give me the mileage to empty. That's one downfall that this truck does not have. We got almost full tank. I believe we'll have more than enough. Put it in gear and see which way we're going. I don't want to get messed up here, so let's hit which way are we going out? Are we going out that way? I have to circle right and then back to the left. Alright. I don't want to be going straight because that'll mess me up. I'll be trying to swing around the parking lot. I don't want to go to the right because that's not good. Looks like I'm going out to the right and back to the left. I've gotten a look. I've gotten to where I gotta take a look at it because otherwise it'll send me off to BFE. I don't want that. I want to get out the door. I want to get out the driveway. I get annoyed by these gates too. That's why I'm gonna put my mirror back up. I get annoyed by the gates. It's just me. Just let me leave. When this first came out, you didn't have all this crap. There's nobody there because I'm pulling right out. I didn't drive in the lawn too much this time. I'll be glad when I start going more west, you know? Get some new scenery. I've seen a lot of Kansas, Louisiana, Texas. I want to see some California, Oregon, Washington State. 8 o'clock in the morning, I don't need the lights on yet. There are high beams on yet. Go that way. One more on this way. Oh. No, 2 morons. What I like is when you pull out like that and then they just sit there. It's like you gotta move. They don't move. Even in real life, they don't do that. It's funny. It's not funny, but I gotta adjust my microphone. Move my seat back just there. There we go. Yeah, typically I'm one of those people that if I have the room, and you go ahead, I am gonna move for a big rig because I don't want to get hit by them. And I've had the circumstances where they waved at me as they're turning the corner, like taking a left turn, and I back up at an intersection so they don't take the nose of my car off. And had I not backed up, then they would have taken the nose of my car off. Many a time. Luckily, I just ran this red light. Son of a. Pardon my French. Many a times I've stopped speeding. I'm just gonna go for all the tickets. It just shows you that I have all my traffic violations on. The only thing I turned off is the driver fatigue, because I don't need to be hearing the guy yawning. All that stuff. I hope it's green, because I'm going. Yeah, it just goes to show you that my traffic offense is at. This guy's always speeding, he never gets a ticket. How does that work? He must not have his traffic offense on. Oh no, they're on. They are not on. They're always on. Not on my other account. One I just play on? Nah, turn that shit off. Turning that off, turning off traffic, because I can just drive. It's funny how this one's going to be. These people here aren't going to be able to go anywhere unless that light changes, because my trailer is way long. I'll get a ticket for running the light, which is the back end of my trailer. Only go so far. Yeah, block that intersection. Heck do I care? Like, man, our light is green and we can't even go. That sucks, don't it? Yeah, if you're new to the channel, it's just ATS. I might slide in some ETS too, but for the most part, it's going to be ATS. American Truck Simulator. My equipment is down below. G29 steering wheel, Logitech, the GTPLAYER racing cockpit. I actually forgot to put in the TV stand, but it's a GTPLAYER monitor stand / TV stand, which works really well for the racing cockpit. You're able to get that closeness that you like. Currently using a 40-inch TV for my monitor, but it works for what I want it for. I'm thinking about going up to a 50, and I wouldn't go any bigger than that because I don't have the room, essentially. I don't want to go any bigger. I think 50s, and this is a 1080p TV, it's not a 4K, and it works fine for what I want. If anybody else had this set up, they'd be like, a kid would have this, and be like, oh my god, this is perfect. Provided that they're into the games. I don't plan on doing any farming on it. I don't plan on doing any Gran Turismo or any of that stuff. Straight up ATS. I use the sim panel button box. It's the a little bit bigger one, not the small one. It's in its description. It doesn't have the microphone on the side, so other than the CV. But that can be bypassed too. You can just have a headset to do that. Alright, so we got green, red. I'm gonna start taking over this of the lane so I can make my turns. I guess I gotta trust this first guy here to go when it's green because I can't see the lights. But yeah, I like the button box. If you want honest reviews on any of this stuff, love the racing cockpit's great. Easily a 6-foot person, 6'1", can fit in it. Gotta get over because I'm gonna make this turn. If you're interested in the button box, my opinion is I love it. You need it? No. Why are you not going? You're gonna just be an asshole or what? One of those days of AI traffic. I'm gonna take up all the lanes. And then I gotta go to freaking third person if I can find that button. Here we go. There we go. Back to first person. Sim panel button box, love it. Again, do you need it? Not really, but it is nice to have all the buttons programs on this thing. Again, it has everything. It has your trailer brakes. It has the air brakes, which I forgot to push on. Now it's on. I forgot. When I ended my last job, I forgot to reset the button. But so now if I push the button back in, which would turn it off technically, it actually turns it on. Yeah. What you just saw. Anyway, so I have parking brake, trailer brakes, detach the trailer, all kinds of stuff you can do on this thing. Your high beams, low beams, wiper blades, beacons, hazards, map, the enter button. All these things can be programmed into this thing. They're already preset, pre-labeled. It's got lights in it, so you can change the colors of the background if you want. White, blue, pink, green, whatever color you want. I go blue because that's what well, to be fair, I went and bought some lighting for my racing cockpit. Not a sponsor. I wish they were because it's expensive. Gobi lighting. G-O-B-E-E lighting. Bought it on Amazon. Again, not a sponsor, but I wish they were. I love it. I definitely would buy more, get more products. It's very expensive. It's good stuff though. It's essentially desk lining, flexible rope. But it's not like your standard LED strips where you can see the little light bulbs. This is all like covered with like a protector. Nice. 55. Expensive though. This was $130 or something for the lighting. But I like it because it adds a little accents. My room is dark, my office is dark, which is fine. But I like to be able to see so I don't fall into my racing cockpit. I can actually sit into it and if the lights are on. Hey, lag, I love it. If the lights are on, then you can see better. It just triggered my brain to do something here. So bear with me for 1 second. Yeah, that's good. Picture. My thumbnail. We're back on the road. Should have went to the bridge. Oh well. Yeah, love the lighting. And I can set it to the same blue as the. Excuse me. There's an app for it and everything. You can change all kinds of colors. You can have it motion activated, sound activated, all kinds of different things. I just want it on. I don't want it to be flickering. I don't want it to be strobe lit. I'm not in a disco. I'm just driving it. But it's like neon lighting around the bottom of a car, essentially. The underglow from the 80s and 90s. I'll be stealing things somewhere, but I like it. Actually, I had a motorcycle back in the day, crotch rocket, and that had underglow on it. The only problem is you can't have it on when you're driving. It's illegal. At least in Wisconsin it is. I don't know about other places. You're fine if you're parked, which back then I was parked a lot. I was cruising, you know, cruising for chicks. You allowed to say chicks anymore? For the ladies. But again, that's just a long time ago. No. But yeah, it looked cool. Not many bikes had it that I'd seen. I'd seen a lot of cars that had it. And I live in a small town, so it's like if you had it, you stood out. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody could afford it. Not everybody. Luckily, when I bought the bike, it was a used bike, and the guy who before me could afford it, and he put it on. So, but that bike had reputation. That's the problem. The motorcycle did because of that. So then the cops, because the previous owner was a hooligan. Yeah, he's always riding wheelies and doing stupid stuff on it, speeding and whatever. So then when I got the bike, I pulled over a couple times because they wanted check it out. I thought I was this person or that person. And like, no, I bought it from them. That was a dumb idea. The cops told me it was a dumb idea to buy the bike. That bike's got a reputation. Like, I'm trying to change its reputation. I'm not a hooligan. At least not when there's cops around. I'm smarter than that. But the problem with those bikes, I mean, they're fun to play around on, but they are uncomfortable as hell. There's generally no butt padding, so your butt hurts after 100 miles. That's about as far as you want to go. You're not going to go on a giant road trip on a crotch rocket. I'll tell you what, you'll be some pain. You're tempted to do that. That's why those guys buy those big baggers and stuff. Honda Gold Wings and Harley baggers, road glides, and all these other things. Because they're comfortable. It's like riding a coach down the road. Or a recliner. But again, they weigh twice as much as a crotch rocket. There is one that I'm looking at, though. I really want to get it. Not a crotch. Well, it's a naked bike, is what they consider it. I am looking at it. I'm really biting my... Yay and nay. Stuck behind this traffic, or unless I just start melding my way. Here we go. That's how you do it. We just move over. It's like, you're gonna let me move over, I'm gonna squeeze you. Yeah, I've owned motorcycles. And no offense, but I don't think I want a Harley. First of all, the newer Harleys don't even sound like Harleys anymore. They change the exhaust notes. You have to pay extra to get it to sound like a Harley. And they're in the shop a lot. You know, as opposed to like a Honda or a Gold Wing or something on that order. Harleys and Indians, I think, are shop a lot, and then it costs so much to get it repaired. Harley Davidson, they say the HD in Harley Davidson stands for $100, because everything's $100. Whether it's a little screw for this or a little bolt for that, the minimum of $100. You're not going to get away with any cheaper. I don't know. If you can buy a used one at somebody's gently used, like, and one that they bit the bullet on because they took the bite of the initial, what do you call it, depreciation of it, then you're all right. Whereas if you buy something new, and then you're paying more. I mean, I guess to be honest, I almost bought Arno. Almost did. I mean, I literally was a day from getting it. And then I changed my mind at the essentially last day. And they had it all ready for me. They were, you know, I bought it unseen. I mean, I was basically getting pre-approved for financing and everything. So you run all the numbers, do all your stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. So the bike's not mine until I sign it. This and that. I do get to take it for a test drive. Of course. So if I don't like the test drive, I can bow out on all this. Oh, absolutely. You didn't sign the paperwork yet. Perfect. And then I decided to go a different route and bought a different motorcycle this thing. I mean, I had it all planned out. I was going to do this, and do this, and do this. None of that happened. I just got the other motorcycle. And I didn't even have that for very long. Ended up getting rid of that. That was my other job, though. That was a couple years ago. And the job kind of screwed me out, in my opinion. Your ass cow. How did your job screw you out of a motorcycle? Well, because they lay you off a lot. And the time you think you can go make a purchase, an above and beyond purchase. Now we're not talking, you gotta have a car, so you have a car. But like an extra, just a toy. Like, I can afford that. Well, you can definitely afford it if you're working 40 hours a week, but if you're only working 20 or less, because they're laying you off because there's no work, then I should have taken that as a sign to just get the heck out of there. Nope. I had to work for them for 30 years. I'm an idiot. I am. Because of that. But it was like home. It's really hard to change. A creature habit. I should have left a long 20 years ago. As soon as that first layoff came, that's when I should have said, see ya. But I didn't. Like, well, it's only going to be 2 weeks, and you collect unemployment, and this and that. Well, I get essentially 2 weeks of vacation. And when I was younger, 18 and 19, I didn't give them two shits. Hell yeah, give me 2 weeks off. And, well, then it got more frequent, and then it was like, it's going to be a month. It's going to be 3 months. You still collect unemployment, but then you got to pay back your insurance out of my unemployment. Well, that's not really fair. It ain't my fault I got laid off. Well, we're not going to cover it. You got to cover it. Alrighty then. Again, that should have been my sign to say hasta la vista. Out of this. Yellow light. Now I gotta go up here so I can see the lights. Did I take the picture of this one already? Yeah. But yeah. So it was one of those things where I buy the bike and then like 6 months later they start laying everybody off. It's like, and it never really got any better. It just kept, you come back and then you lay off again, come back, lay off again, come back, lay off again, come back, lay off again. And it was, out of a 12-month span, I probably worked 4 months. I'm like, yeah. Then I go to the boss, who I known. He was my boss, in my opinion. The other guy was just a dickhead. Still is. Yeah, he's still a dink. Anyway, the guy who I knew as my boss. Went in and talked to him. I'm going to run this. Beep, 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 beep. No, don't take it. Thank God. I went into him by his office, and they got a minute? He's like, yeah. Told him, I said, I gotta get out of here. Give me my 2 weeks notice. And I wrote it all down, gave in writing, 2 weeks notice. And he's like, well, I appreciate the 2 weeks notice. So now he goes, I don't blame you. Honestly, I don't blame you for getting out of here. I said, I can't afford to keep getting laid off. Unemployment, I don't know if anybody's been on unemployment. They don't pay very good. And again, you're going to pay back that insurance. It pays more than zero, yes, but it doesn't pay very good. As opposed to what you're actually making hourly. You break it down, it's like, it's not very good wages at all. By the time you take the taxes out on a 40-hour week, you're making not even $8 an hour. Which is garbage. You can go work fast food for more than that. That's what I told him. He's never been laid off before, my boss. I was explaining to him, I said I could go work at McDonald's and make more money. You cannot. Like, this is what I make on unemployment for a week. Take taxes out of that, this is what I get take home. Break that down in a 40-hour paycheck, I said it's less than $8 an hour. And he's looking at me, he goes, I never realized that. That's crazy. I'm like, yeah, and then you just lay us off like it's nothing. So, and he goes, well, it isn't me. I'm like, well, I know that. And it wasn't pointing fingers, I'm just saying the company in general lay you off. Anyway, so I put in my 2 weeks. 3 days later, so I put it in on like a Wednesday or Tuesday, I think it was. Yeah, so Tuesday toward the end of the day, I handed in my notice, and because I had that's what it was Tuesday, because I had an interview on that Monday. You know, I got the job. Can you start this time? I got my, start date for the new job. And I told them that the following Friday, so 9 days, again, not quite 2 weeks, but basically 2 weeks. And they came to me on Thursday. It wasn't even Friday, it was Thursday. Boss comes over to me at the end of the, like 20 minutes or 15 minutes before the end of the day. And he says, you want to come in the office? Upstairs? I'm like, oh God, that means I gotta go by the dickhead. So we go talk in the office, and I said, well, your 2 weeks, I know you give us 2 weeks notice in writing, but your 2 weeks is over as of now. I'm like, he said, we're not firing you. We're just relieving you of your position as of now. You literally have 8 minutes to gather all your belongings and leave the building. I'm like, so this is what 30 years gets you? You know, you put in 30 years, dedicated employee, never been late to work, and then they just essentially escort you. Well, they did actually escort me out the building. And everybody out on the floor, the people that were there, were all 30-year plus employees. And I'm downstairs, I'm grabbing all my stuff, and they're like, what's going on? I'm like, today's my last day. Well, I thought it was next week. I'm like, me too. And so apparently they bumped my date up to today. So you don't get nothing? I'm like, nothing. I didn't get nothing. I didn't get a cake. If somebody retires, you get a cake, you get this, and you get that. If somebody quits or resigns with notice, it's not like I just left. You don't get shit. You get nothing. And it was because of their thing. It was lack of work. It was this. It was that. You know, I was hoping to retire from there. I just can't afford to be laid off. So yeah, I got escorted out the door. Kind of sucked. I don't know if anybody else has ever been through that. So I grabbed all my stuff, left the door, and again, I still get along with the one boss who, funny I say that, I say boss because he was I consider my boss, and friend outside of work. I mean, you gotta separate that kind of stuff. So I didn't hold it against him, it wasn't his fault. That I had to get escorted, that I, didn't get to work by 2 weeks. If it was up to me, you could have worked your 2 weeks, and no problem. And I'm like, I know that it was the other asshole. He just laughed. It was like 3 months later, he quit. My boss resigned after 2 weeks. I should have asked him, did you get escorted out the building? But I didn't. He actually resigned. 3 months after I left, he left. So, there is an end to I left on my terms, I guess. But, they forced me out early, but I didn't have to, I didn't go to work and then the doors were already locked up because the place is going to close. That's how I feel it's going to end up being for the people that are still there. There's really, literally a handful, 5 or 6 people that work there. There used to be 200 people almost that work there. Now there's 5 or 6. That's counting office people, mind you. Not just manufacturing area. Insane. I'm like, why are you still there? I run into some of the people that are still there yet. Running into them at the grocery store or whatever. And I'm like, why? Why are you still there? Well, I'm like, I get it. It's comfort. It's a place you've been forever. But you think it's going to be there for, 15 more years? For you to be able to retire from there? And she's like, no. I'm like, then why are you wasting your time? You're going to be 60 years old trying to find a job. Nobody's going to hire you if you're 60, unless you're working at Walmart. Most employers, I know they're not supposed to, but they'll look at you at 60 years old and say, we'd love to hire you, but we're only going to get like 2 years out of you. Or 3 years, or whatever, whenever you plan on retiring. So we're not going to waste the time on hiring you. But they can't say that. They can just say that you're not qualified for the job, that you're overqualified for the job, that, you know what I mean? They will find a way to word it right, so where they're not discriminating against age. It's illegal, apparently, but that happens all the time. That's why I got out when I did. I'm like, I am going to get out way before I get to that age where they don't want to hire you. I got turned down for a few jobs, and I'm not 60 by any means, but I did get turned down for a few, but I know it was because of my age. But I have skills. I have skills. Nunchuck skills. No, just kidding. Don't do that. I have life, These 18-year-old kids don't have life experiences. They don't have... That's what they're looking for. They're looking for these 18-year-old kids. 20-year-old kids and whatever to work these positions. But they don't want to work. Or show up for work on time. We got one kid by us. 18-year-old kid. Good kid. Very polite. Very polite. But if you went by late, like clocking in at, say, his start time is 7 o'clock. If you went by the amount of times he's late, I don't care if he makes up his hours now, but the amount of times he's late to work, in a 5-day work week, it's 5 days out of the week that he's late. Which is insane. And he makes up, so he'll come in at 20 after 7 instead of 7 o'clock and then work till 20 after 3 or 4 or whatever his hours are. To make up for the 20 minutes he was late. I'm like, what is stopping you from coming in? And I'll just talk to him, I don't care. What's stopping you from coming in at the right time? Oh, it's this and that and the other thing. And I said, but every day? He blames it on the weather. I'm like, well, it doesn't snow every day. You have 4-wheel drive. You have brand new tires on your vehicle. I said, it's your butt not being able to get out of bed in the morning is the problem. Because he stays up too late. Well, that's, again, responsibilities. That shows maturity. All that stuff where you know you have a job, you should go to sleep at a certain time. Give yourself enough time for sleep so that you're not dragging in the mornings. They don't always get good sleep, you know what I'm saying? So you could plan on getting 8 hours or 7 hours. But it don't always work that way. Sometimes you're up in the middle of the night with issues. And it doesn't work that where you're going to get 8 hours. You end up at 6. Whatever. Been there, done that. It sucks. Did I get a picture of this truck? I don't think I did. What does this truck look like? Is it blue? Yeah. I believe I got a picture of it. But just in case I didn't, I'm just going to get one now. Sorry. Go on this side. Spin the camera. Get closer. I want to get I'll put the logo in the upper left corner this time. Or upper right corner. Enough. Let's hit the road. I don't know if I got one or not, but I want to get one to make sure. You never have too many pictures. Yeah, it just shows maturity. I mean, I've worked for a long time, and I can honestly say that I've never been late to work, not once. In my whole working career, that I've ever been late to work. And that started a long time ago. My working career. I mean, things happen. Flat tires, accidents, things like that. But, I mean, I guess I've been fortunate enough. But I'm always to work 20 minutes, half an hour early. And I live in town, and I get to work early. I live and work in town. But even when I traveled, which wasn't that long ago, really, I had to travel an hour to work every day. I would still get to work a half an hour early. Or more. Sometimes an hour early, depending on the weather. Because you plan on the weather being this. And then you look at the forecast, or weather forecast, like, oh, we got a storm coming. I should leave a little bit earlier. So I leave earlier, then I get to work 45 minutes to an hour early. Instead of my normal half hour. I'm there earlier than that. Because the roads weren't as bad as I thought, or whatever. But at least I left on time. I didn't plan my trip as if it were summertime. And the roads were going to be beautiful the whole time. That's how this kid is. He's like, every day to him is sunshine and rainbows. He's going to get there when he gets there. I have a feeling they may weed him out. With good reason, though. You're late every day. Whether you make up the time or not, you're still late every day. You're not working your scheduled hours. You're modifying your hours to work around your laziness. Not getting it but to work. But we'll see how it pans out. I mean, the kid started 6 months before me. Same job, same position, and I was only there a month and a half or 2 months, and they wanted me to write out work instructions, and they're giving me tons of responsibilities. And this kid comes over to me. He goes, man, I've been here for 7 or 8 months, and he says, they don't give me none of that stuff. How come you're getting all that stuff? I'm like, well, maybe because I show up every day on time. Not working the whole time. Not that he's not, but he's got one speed, and it's his speed. And I forget how much older I am than him, but a lot older. Almost triple his age. I told him that. He's like, no, you're not. I said, yes, I am. He's like, that's crazy. He's like, and you're always working. Well, how do you do it? I'm like, just because you work. It's ingrained into your body. Into your genetics, I guess. Well, not genetics, because I didn't get it from my... Anyway, I'm not going to go there. But either you have a good work ethic or you don't. That's what it comes down to. Alright, crap or get out the body. We gotta go. Yeah, I'm not following on the inside. Nobody else does. I'm gonna be like an NPC, just gonna pull right out of the traffic. But yeah, this poor kid. Granted, he's got a long life ahead of him, but he's gotta get his eggs in a basket or fish in a barrel or I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Ducks in a row. Yeah, something like that. He's gotta get straightened up. He's only ever worked fast food, first of all. Fast food and retail. More fast food than retail, but I guess fast food is kind of retail. So he's never worked a physical job as far as that goes. And he's just not used to that kind of thing. I mean, he's, again, very polite, very personable as far as that goes. And he's worked with public, so he's had to be nice to customers and whatever. And for his age, I don't know what they're paying him, if it's the same as me or not, but if they're making, if he's making the same money, I don't want to know what he makes, but if he is making the same money, for 20 years old or 18 years old, he's doing very well. I know I didn't make that anywhere near that when I was 18. Oh, different times were different. Not many years ago, though. Can we get out of this 50-mile-an-hour speed limit crap? Please, please. I just want to put the hammer down. Set the cruise at 51. This guy coming down the freeway. I don't have my pills to hand. He's just out of my mirror. There we go. I don't understand this. Yeah, I mean, I wish him the best. Whatever happens to him. Again, it's always been nice to me. Like, respectful. He's just gotta learn. Work. And we're gonna pick up some speed. We got the po-po sitting here. You just gotta learn how to work. You know, be more productive. Pick up the pace. And they don't say nothing to me about any of it. And his work. And they're like, we're gonna need you to speed it up a little bit. No, they don't say nothing because I'm always moving. I'm always looking for work. Because a slow day like that makes the day just drag. I'd rather stay busy. Not overwhelmed busy, but busy. Steady busy. I want it to where I can get all the work done that I have for the day. Required of me. And then above it, a little bit above that. But yeah, I got almost some of my work instructions. In the last video, I was talking about my work instructions. That they wanted me to write. Well, a little bit on this one, I guess. And they pay me. Or by the time you guys see this, they'll have paid me. But yeah, I ended up putting, on my own time, I put in almost 60 hours on this project. Now, that was stretched out over a month and a half. You know, so it wasn't like I was working whatever, but I was more than 10 hours a week. Well, about 10 hours a week I've been working on it. The last couple weeks have been more than that. Couple hours in the morning, couple hours in the evening, weekends. Yeah, so would say. I might even be more than 60. I haven't turned it. I mean, this is only, it's the end of, what should we call it? I haven't turned in my hours yet. I have to start doing some math on that. I might be shortchanging myself. I was just ballparking it. Like, well, I should have just been writing it all down. They're like, just let us know what your hours are. Pay you out. So. And it's good. It's overtime wages. So I get time and a half for all the hours I'm putting in for this. And I'm happy with that. Honestly. Because I'm already getting my 40 hours a weekend, so anything I do above and beyond is overtime to them. That's why they're going to pay me time and a half for all my hours. Not complaining. Not going to complain at all. The only problem is you get so many hours and they tax the crap out of you. You know what I mean? Once you hit a certain threshold, it's like, wow. You'd almost make more money if you work less hours. Basically, you're working for nothing. Well, there's still money. I can use the extra paycheck, extra kicker. Yeah, but it's right around 60 hours. And I think if you go 6 weeks at 10 hours a week, I think 60 hours is a fair number. So I'm probably going to turn in 60 hours. Let's multiply that times my time and a half. It turns out pretty good. Use that for a down payment on my motorcycle. I've already bought everything I want for this racing setup and my computer stuff, so now it's just a matter of getting things tweaked, I guess. Instead of buying a bigger monitor / TV, it'll be a TV. I'm gonna bump up to a 50, but they're only like $200. Just get a Vizio 50-inch 4K. It'll be big enough for me. Right now it's only 40, so you go bigger by 10 inches. But if you start doing the math, it's really like 3 inches wider and so much taller. So. Well, going lefty, I hate this background. Yeah, if you look at the dims on it, it's not much bigger than what this is, but it is bigger. It's taller, it's lighter. We got everybody trying to merge up here. Now it's 65 and it's a truck ready to pull out. There's a couple trucks up there. Yeah, man. I haven't seen too many 2-lane highways like this. Again, highway, not freeway. That's 65 mile an hour speed limit. Typically, your highway is 55. Not 65. There's a divided highway, it's different. But this is a 2-lane highway. So be it. Yeah, you guys won't see this video because it's recording on the 25th of February. Probably won't see this till sometime in April. Or the end of it, I'm guessing. But I need to record when I can. So. And I'm only doing 2 videos today, one tomorrow. And then I'll get them uploaded. Then I'll do 2 more. What's today? Today's Wednesday. Right? Yeah, it's a Wednesday. So then I'll record today 2 videos. Tomorrow I'll record 1 more, and then I get the 3 uploaded. And then Thursday, Wednesday, what's Thursday? So Friday, sorry. Friday morning before work, I will record 2 more videos. Wait a minute. Oh, my steering wheel's upside down. I'm like, I know I hit left and it was steering wheel's upside down. Somebody messed with my blinker. Then Saturday morning I'll record 1 more and then upload those 3. So this week I'll recorded 9 videos for this channel. Plus I have 2 Twitch channels that I go live on. Those are live, not recorded. Plus I have another YouTube channel that I record videos for. And that one I do 3 uploads a week on that one as well. But I'm so far ahead on the other YouTube channel. I'm into May. Once I get this channel caught up to that channel, where I'm in May or, the same in advance or ahead 2 months or whatever, then I'm gonna start cutting back and start doing a little bit on this one and a little bit on this one, you know what I mean? Getting a little bit of both, keeping them even. Either way, I want to keep them both ahead. Minimum of a month, preferably 2 months of pre-recorded videos, because anything can happen. You can get sick, you could, God forbid, get injured where you can't play. I have a friend that broke his shoulder, he can't play. So, he had to have 2 months off or whatever it is. So he's not able to upload videos. Hopefully he's got enough banked up to where until he gets his self back into shape again, he'll have his videos banked. We never expect anything to happen, but in case something does, I like to have that cushion. Yeah, whatever. Flash your lights at me. It's getting dark outside. I want behind me. But I do like the gauges on this one. I just don't like the fact that it doesn't give me the distance to empty. I want to look at what's it, the 389 Peterbilt? I think it's the 389. I want to look at the paint schemes, the graphics. So that we're racing now. You got me. I'm just gonna let you go because I don't want you running into me and me getting the ticket for you running into me. $1,000 ticket. Damn game. Or 900 or whatever it is. I got 1 ticket for running a light. Right away in the beginning. Gotta love it. What do we got? 30 minutes? 30 miles. 30 miles. Yeah, we're almost done. Yeah, and these videos, like these 600-mile videos, miles, you're right around an hour. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, because it's not even available yet. Or Kansas, I think. But, again, I gotta keep my recordings, but I can get my recordings in. Well, I was gonna hammer down on it. Anyway. Change. It's such a big, heavy load trying to get going. I had a friend I was talking to, one of the coworkers. Not the 18-year-old kid, is another guy. And I talked about my games and stuff, and I said, he used to be a truck driver and stuff. And he He's like, is it real? I'm like, what do you mean real? He's like, so like if you haul heavy stuff, does it actually act like it's heavy? I'm like, oh, absolutely. You can definitely tell the difference if you're pulling something heavy versus not heavy. I said you can just take off like a rocket if you're only pulling a fuel tanker or curtain trailers and stuff like that. But if you get yourself one of these big heavy loads, heavy equipment stuff, wide loads and all that. So you definitely can tell. Stopping distance, everything is all. He's like, well, that's good. Because he doesn't play video games too much. He doesn't get the whole concept of it. But it's funny that I'm one of the oldest people there in the plant. And I think there's like one person in there that's older than me. In the whole building. I'm an old man. I mean, we're all pretty close. There's a couple people that are close, but if you go by age, I am probably the second oldest. And I'm happy that they hired me because I'm old, but I think because I have knowledge in different fields, I guess, so they're getting different feedback from me as opposed to the 18-year-old kid. I have life experience. I have job experience for different things. Skills that are applicable to my position. I got the green arrow. Well, I'm sucking up all the room. And wait for this green arrow. Yeah. We'll get her done. Yeah, so you can't judge a book by its cover as far as video games go. That's why I just ask. I'm like, you guys play games? Most of, I don't think there's anybody else other than maybe the 18-year-old that play. I've been at places where a bunch of people play. Then I've worked at places where nobody plays. When I started asking some of the younger kids at one place that I worked at, a lot of people played. They're like, you play? What do you play? And then they're like, then you start just yakking it up about this game and that game. And like, oh, that's awesome. Like, you're older than my dad. Like, and my dad doesn't play video games. Like, well, it sucks to be him. Because I'm going to keep playing until I can't play anymore. I want to make a lift for my racing cockpit. I want to work on something for that. I want to lift it off the floor. I mean, it's a framework. It's nice. It does its thing, but I want to lift it up about a foot. So you're not falling into it and then trying to climb back up out of it. Make it more easier to get in and out of, I guess. If that makes any sense. I mean, you can fall in, but crawling back out of it is a different story. I don't need to have handicap mounts on the wall like a shower. I can get myself in and out of this thing. Am I going to that scale? No. To the right. Wait, boys. Again, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop down below. I'll get back to you. I'm pretty much an open book, if you haven't figured it out already. I didn't do a question of the day because I haven't gotten too many replies from my questions of the day. When I start getting more replies, then I'll start doing more questions. Just saying. you're parking this, by the way. Hey, I can hit my parking brake now. Check the keys. All right. Enter button. And it's yours. I do like these trips that don't have, we're creeping up on 20. And we can get our truck that we want. A couple more trips. Probably, what, 3 more? Max? Can't wait. We're going to go Fragile Cargo. All right. Well, thank you again for watching. Again, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop them down below and I'll get back to you. And we'll see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.